Hey guys, hi, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Juan Carlos, and today I'm going to review our 2018 Lexus RX350. It's a vehicle that we had for the last 3 years, and today I'm going to review it. I'm going to tell you what it's been like to live, drive, and own this vehicle for the last almost 3 years. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on my vehicle. This is a 2018 model, but it applies to vehicles up to 2021. Nothing much has changed ever since. This vehicle has the proximity remote control, where all you have to do is have the key fob in your pocket and the vehicle will unlock, which is pretty cool. Okay, this is the exterior of the vehicle. A lot of people don't like the big grille. I really don't mind it, but I can tell you that if it wasn't because the car is black, it will stand out a little bit more. So I kind of like the fact that my vehicle is black. I think that was one of the criteria that we used when we bought this vehicle. We chose a black one just because the grille doesn't look as big. And this is just my opinion, of course. And these LED lights are standard, as well as the fog lights. This is standard equipment. What's not standard is these wheels. These are 20-inch wheels. This vehicle comes with 18-inch wheels, and also these mirrors, retractable mirrors. When the vehicle is locked, they tuck in like that, which is pretty nice. The rear end has this pretty clean look that I really like. It's got the dual exhaust, and these are real exhaust tips. Unlike some of the competitors that have the fake vents or the fake exhaust and the tips come down the bottom, these are real exhaust, so that's one thing that I like. One thing that I never liked about this vehicle is that it has LED taillights, but the turn signals are incandescent, as well as the reverse lights. One of my least favorite things about this car is that part of the options is this hands-free tailgate opener, but you cannot have your hands tied with any boxes or anything, because you still need that hand-free to put your hand over the Lexus emblem. So I thought that was pretty dumb. I like it. Ford has that where you do the kick under the vehicle in some of the cars, but this one doesn't, so I never liked that about this one. One of my favorite things about this vehicle is that we opted for this 20-inch wheels. It comes stock with 18-inch wheels, and these 20-inch wheels offer a more aggressive look, and at the same time still offer enough wall to where you don't get to curve the wheels too easily. I think I did it at least once in this car with the rear wheel, but because the walls stand out pretty good, I didn't get to damage the wheel, which is something that I really like about this 20-inch wheel package. Another option in this vehicle that we paid for was the panoramic sunroof, which I think is pretty cool, and these roof racks. I think the paint has held up pretty good. It's pretty shiny. Granted that we keep this car garage at all times, both at work and at home. The overall craftsmanship of this vehicle is very good. The paint is very thick. The gaps between the panels are very consistent. It's just a very well put together car. That's one of my favorite things about Lexus in general, is how well built they are. I really like how the rear window wiper is tucked in under the spoiler. It just makes for a cleaner look. The privacy cover and the cargo area is retractable, and I also like the fact that this car comes with an actual spare and with some extra storage underneath this panel. To fold the seats flat, just gotta pull this. They don't completely fold flat, but it's good enough. I actually have slept in this vehicle, believe it or not. It's not the most comfortable night of my life. You do this, and it offers plenty of space. Let's move on to the interior, where you're gonna spend a lot of time. This is probably my favorite part of this car. I've never fell in love with the exterior of this vehicle. However, this interior is pretty nice. It's very high quality. It's got leather and real wood and soft plastics almost everywhere. Not so much here on the bottom, but here, everywhere you touch, where your elbows touch, is very nice material. So it feels pretty nice. I cannot get over this interior. It's so nice, so isolated from the road. It is a very comfortable ride. Don't expect this to drive sporty or anything. This is mostly just like a nice cruiser. We take it everywhere on the weekend, and it's always Very nice to get in this vehicle and feel isolated from the road, be stuck in California traffic. But the leather on these seats is very soft, and as you can see, these perforated surfaces offer you cooled and heated seats, which is very nice, very useful here in California. You also have one touch window switches, power mirrors, memory seating. My wife uses memory seat number 1. And I use number 2. So it adjusts your mirror. It also adjusts obviously the seat and the steering wheel column, which is power tilt. You also have a auto dimming mirror. As far as the auto system is the Mark Levinson one. It's also an option. It sounds pretty good. We like it. This is the heads-up display that it also comes with, and the heated steering wheel. The wood is not heated, only this part of the leather, and we actually use it. It's pretty nice. Another thing that I like about this vehicle is the lane keeping assist, because it's very easy to use, and when you're stuck in bumper to bumper, all you have to do is activate the lane keeping assist. But for that you have to have the dynamic cruise control on. So you press that and you press this one right here. So you're gonna have basically a monitor. It's gonna keep you on your lane. It's also gonna brake for you, even down to a full stop, and it can resume after the vehicle in front of you starts moving. It can resume, but it's only, I think it's about 5 to 10 seconds, and then if not, you have to reset the cruise control yourself. You have a regular display, and in the center you have this small digital display. It offers most of the information that you need, so it's not too advanced, but it does the job. So it gives you the range, it gives you the miles per gallon after the refuel. In my case, I have experienced not great miles per gallon. This vehicle is rated, let me tell you, let me read it so that I don't make mistakes. It says that it's supposed to be 20 in the city, 27 in the highway. We usually struggle to get anything above 25 miles per gallon, and we're very conservative drivers, maybe highway speeds of 70 to 75, and in the city it's about 18 miles per gallon. As you can see right there, it says 13.3, because after the refuel, it's mostly my wife that commutes about 2 miles to work, so it's a lot of stop and go. So that's not good for this car. That's one of my complaints about this car, is that it's not that fuel efficient. It's an 8-speed transmission. It's very conservative. The way it's tuned is for very conservative driving. It's not aggressive at all. It doesn't hold the revs too high, and still doesn't give you too many miles per gallon. I wonder if it has to do with the fact that it's a tall vehicle. It's boxy, so not very aerodynamic. This is the drive mode selector. You can go to Eco, you can push for normal, or you can go to Sport, as it says here. It doesn't do much. When you put it in Sport, it just holds the revs a little higher, but this is not a sports car, so I've seen no point to use this at all. And then you have the traction control off. Same thing. I have no use for it. How good is it to have no traction control for a front wheel drive SUV? Let me show you the engine. So under the hood we have a 3.5 liter 295 horsepower. It's a V6 engine with variable valve timing. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission. Nothing fancy. It's a very, very old engine, but it's also very reliable. The back seat is also pretty roomy. I like it. That's my memory sitting on the front, and I still have enough legroom right here. And I'm about 5'11", a little bit less than 5'11". I still have enough space. The panoramic sunroof extends all the way out here, so that's pretty cool as well. And this is a pretty nice place to spend time. The interior materials on the back seat, they're also just as good as they are in the front. You have the real wood trims, the real leather, the real stitching right here, and this soft plastic. And as well as this hard plastic, just like it's in the front. You have more speakers, so this is a pretty nice place. You have more speakers back there. You do not have USB connectors back here. You just have a power 12-volt outlet, and you don't have AC controls in the back or climate controls in the back. All you have is this vent that you can close or move around. And also the seats are not heated or cooled back here, only the front. Okay, driving the 2018 Lexus RX350. This is a vehicle that is meant for comfort. It's a premium experience, but it's made for comfort. This is not a sporty vehicle. When we were shopping for this vehicle, we cross-shopped it with other vehicles such as the BMW X3 that came out with a redesign in 2018, and also the Audi Q5 came out with a redesign for 2018. We test drove both vehicles, and we opted for this one, and I'm gonna tell you why. This is my third Lexus. This is my second new Lexus, and I really thought that I was gonna keep this car for longer. I really thought that this was a car that I was gonna drive out of warranty. So at 3 years, I'm ready to move on. Nothing wrong with this vehicle. It's just that I just like to change vehicles every 2-3 years on average. And when I opted for this, I really thought that this was going to be a car that I could keep for years after warranty, and it didn't happen. And that's the main reason why I opted for this versus the X3, the Q5, and even the Acura RDX. We test drove all those three vehicles. To give you an example, another one of the vehicles that we liked was the Acura RDX. We test drove the all-wheel drive. It's called Super Handling, I think. And it was very nice. It drove very, very nice, as well as the Q5, the all-wheel drive. I mean, they're all all-wheel drive. So I really liked the way those drove. And when I was gonna buy this, I test drove the all-wheel drive. But it's a different system. It won't kick in unless certain conditions are met, like slippery roads and all that. So 95% of the time in California, you're gonna be driving a front-wheel drive vehicle. And that's felt. The Acura RDX was a lot more dynamic, a lot more fun to drive, and this one wasn't the case. So I just saw no point on paying a premium for something that I was hardly ever going to use or experience. And out of all these vehicles, this is the roomiest, and I also find it to be the most comfortable one. The suspension is very soft, and the seats are firm but very comfortable as well. If you're in the market for a used Lexus RX350, you should know that these vehicles don't change much. So for 2021, for example, this vehicle is almost unchanged. As far as I know, I think they only upgraded the turn signals on the back to full LED. But other than that, it's pretty much unchanged. So that's one of the things that's about Lexus, is they don't change much. So when you buy a 2, 3, 4-year-old model, it's still basically the same as the new model at the time. Would I buy this vehicle again? Probably. It's just, I'm just done with it. But it doesn't mean that it's anything bad with it. It's just, I get bored with vehicles pretty easily. So I kept this one almost 3 years, and I'm about ready to move on. We're shopping for a new car, and I think it could be a Tesla Model Y. We test drove it last weekend, and it drives pretty nice. It's a whole different driving experience with the instant torque from those electric motors. The drive is very bumpy. It's kind of, if you ever owned a BMW with the M Sports package, it's about the same thing. It's a very bumpy, but the seats are very soft. Unlike this vehicle, which is totally opposite. The ride is very soft, but the seats are very firm. It makes for a very comfortable ride as well. This is my first SUV, by the way. If you don't consider a Jeep Wrangler an SUV, then this is my first SUV of all, and it's probably not going to be my last. I really like the sitting position. I like the ground clearance, especially in this vehicle. This vehicle is very tall, and it makes for a very practical car. When we're driving around, we don't have to worry about hitting the curb or anything. You cannot see it too well, but that is the 360 camera, which helps you parking. This has been my review of our 2018 Lexus RX350. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.